Okay, here's hoping the sound comes through all right. Give me a sec to see. It's good? Okay. Okay, so I was not going to live stream today, but there's an emergency that came up. In New Orleans, there has been a shooting. Okay, thank you, Phoenix. I appreciate you. Hold on 1 second. I have to. Okay. I can't see y'all right now. Okay. All right. So in New Orleans, in the neighborhood I lived in, like a block or two away from where we lived, there was a shooting. There were two, actually. This is from CNN USA. 1 unalived, 9 injured in New Orleans shootings. One person was unalived, 9 others were injured in 2 shootings during a popular New Orleans second line parade on Sunday, according to New Orleans Police Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick. Now, a second line can either be, usually it's a funeral, but it can also just be a parade, like an event. There were 2 different scenes here, quote, there were 2 different scenes here, 2 different pew-pewing events. They were 45 minutes apart from each other, Kirkpatrick said during a Sunday evening news conference. The superintendent said New Orleans police have had a history with the second line and added officers to this event knowing that it had a potential for violence, unquote. It was a wonderful event. We wanted to keep it a wonderful event, she said. The event draws thousands of people, according to police. Despite the additional police resources, gunfire rang out at about 3:40 p.m. Apparently, a car was involved and shots were fired into the crowd. 8 people were struck in the shooting, she told reporters. Police know 2 weapons were used by the ballistics that were left at the scene, Kirkpatrick said. No additional information was provided about the firearms. 8 people were transported to local hospitals. All of these victims are alive, she said. Approximately 45 minutes later, up on the bridge, I think I know what bridge they're talking about exactly. It was right by my house. We did have another outbreak of gunfire and 2 were struck because no cars were able to be on that bridge. It used to be. We used to have car accidents once a week on that bridge, or right in front of that bridge. Because no cars were able to be on that bridge, we know the shooting occurred within the crowd, she said. 1 person was unalive during the second shooting, and another was in extreme critical condition. Police say it's unclear whether the shootings were related because they occurred 45 minutes apart. We're sure someone probably has video, film, something, and we would like them to call. Put a pin in that. Call NOPD or Crime Stoppers, Kirkpatrick urged. Now, going to show you the neighborhood this happened in. Now, this neighborhood is pretty tight-knit. The Save-A-Lot right here, if you can see, that Save-A-Lot is a Save-A-Lot where the guy followed me around inside the store and like outside the store, and like all the people who worked there followed us and stopped him so I could leave. That's where that happened. I know for a fact that many of the businesses and homes around there have cameras on the outsides of their buildings. NOPD could just literally go knock on doors. Hey, do you have a ring cam? Whatever. If so, We need that feed. And let me see the bridge. Hold on one sec. I have to. Okay, so the bridge they're talking about, I think, might be this. There's a bridge right here. And this should be, yeah, this is Port Street. So they were a couple blocks away. The second incident was a couple blocks away, I think. I don't remember any other bridges around there. There's a bridge right here that goes over a canal. And right here, this intersection right here, and this intersection right here, there were car accidents there all the time. People would turn right and bam, or any combination thereof. There were car accidents there all the time. So if they closed that bridge, that's good. Is what I'm saying, because that was not a good spot. They should have had lights and stuff up there. Right here, see if we can get in a bit closer. There should be cameras all through here, and there are businesses down in through here. I don't know if they're open anymore though, because it's been a while since we lived in New Orleans. So for any of my friends who lived in this neighborhood, like I had friends who lived over here, like over around back behind the Save-A-Lot. I hope y'all are okay. And I've seen live streams coming up where people are just talking smack about New Orleans. And it's racism. It is just straight up racism. New Orleans is statistically not nearly as bad as many of the other cities out there. Okay? So I think I know which parade they're talking about, but I'm not sure. Or which group they're talking about. Let's look over at, hold on one second. I have to come over here and switch. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let's look at this one real quick, because ads. Ew. Okay. It happened during the 9 times Social Aid and Pleasure Club second line. They usually have a first line and a second line. So I don't know if this was the first line or the second line, or if they had both of those. But now I'm wondering. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to look at some other news sources. Hey, Robin. The second event was a after party for the first event, right? I mean, that's usually how they do it, but you never know. Sometimes people get a little imbibed, and things can change, plans can change. Let me look. The thing that is, oh shit. So here's an update already. Okay. All right. All right. 2 unalive, 10 wounded. I have friends who usually go to these events. 12 victims, 2 separate shootings. Okay. Y'all hold on one sec. I didn't know there was a video here. I need headphones. 1 second. Where are the headphones? Okay, baby. Thank you, baby.
Hello, everyone. I am not the disembodied head today. I don't know why this still doesn't want to work. But you can hear it. Check the audio. Make sure you can hear through them first.
Okay. Yeah. I just really hope that nobody was at this event. Okay. Can you make sure that you can still hear me? Because,
yeah,
you know.
Make sure that you can hear the audio first.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to push play if I can. Where's the play button? Is that it?
So what I can tell you is that first.
Okay. I can hear it.
So you'll be able to hear it on the screen.
Can y'all hear it? You can hear on Twitch. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I have a couple friends who hang out at this event, so I'm kind of worried. Okay, so we're going to watch this video and see what they're saying. I don't normally play videos. Please, nobody strike my channel. I actually want to know, or would like to know. I've reached out to my friends. They haven't messaged back yet, and I'm just worried.
First of all, there are two different scenes here. There are two different shooting events. They are 45 minutes apart from each other. So what we know is that around 3:40 today is when the first event occurred. This particular second line is one of our absolute largest second lines that we have in the city. It draws thousands of people. And we have had history here with this particular second line. It's a wonderful event. There's no doubt about it. And we want to keep it a wonderful event. But with anticipation, we did have the captain of this district. This is Captain Dupree. She had her entire staff here, all 66 officers who were assigned to the 5th district. We also had an additional around 30 extra officers. I can give you the exact numbers, but I just want to keep it in the general. So we know we were around close to 100 officers. So we added officers to this event, knowing that it had a potential for violence. And so the first event occurred at around 3:40, as I said. And what we know, and the facts are still fluid.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it because I have to do that every once in a while. So first lines and second lines are they're compared to parades, but sometimes they're a funeral. And then sometimes it's a social event. The Mardi Gras Indians, for example, will have second lines and things like that. Especially if one of them, like if a chief passes away, forget about getting through that neighborhood. You don't even try. The whole neighborhood will come out. And people from just the overall city. These are historic. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of culture behind them. And usually if it's a funeral, people are very respectful when it's a funeral. If it's a social thing, it's more like a really large neighborhood party, not even a block party. Yeah. And if I remember correctly, I think I have worked a detail for this kind of second line. So they'll usually bring in like NOPD, SD, whoever they can. The SD, the sheriff's department, isn't what it used to be, though. So, yeah. Okay.
But apparently a car was involved, a suspect car, and shots were fired into the crowd. We know that, was it 8 that were injured in this particular first shooting? 8 people were struck in this particular shooting. We know 2 weapons were used by the ballistics that are left on the scene. About 45 minutes, and let me back up to tell you, those 8 were either transported to a hospital or walked in through someone taking them. All of those victims are alive at this time. Approximately 45 minutes later, up on the bridge, we did have another outbreak of gunfire, and 2 were struck on the bridge. Because no cars were able to be on that bridge, we know that the shooting occurred within the crowd. There is 1 confirmed death, and the other is in extreme critical condition, as I understand, but is being transported.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it again. Part of the reason I'm playing the video is because a lot of the time when you're reading out from an article, quotes from a police chief, things like that, they'll leave things out. So I'm trying to see if there's anything more that was left out of the article that I read.
To one of our area hospitals. That's the information that we have right now. I do have, as you know, the staff here. If you have a question that I can't answer, I will ask one of our members here to address.
Okay, we'll turn it over for questioning. Gina.
Yes, can you tell us the weapons used? Or do you recover any weapons in these conflicts?
No recovery of suspect weapons at this time. We are aware of the ballistics, and we will withhold that information right now.
DSU.
And just to make sure, the total number of victims, and is there any information as far as a suspect, a vehicle, or anything we can share to the public to help y'all solve this crime?
Well, what I can confirm, a total of 9 casualties, and by the use of that word, we mean people who were injured and the 1 person who has lost his life. So that is a total of 9. We do have a vehicle of interest to us right now. I will leave it up to the and probably the detective lieutenant as to whether or not to release that. We will get it released because we want our community to help us. We're sure someone probably has video, film, something, and we would like them to call. If they aren't comfortable calling us, please call Crime Stoppers. And I actually know the number here.
Okay. Okay, so 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Okay, so 1 victim was pronounced at the scene, and the other was taken to the hospital where they later unalived. So 2 unalived, the rest injured. At what point do we say, hey, maybe, just fucking maybe there's a gun problem in this country? I'm just putting that out there. At what point? It's, schools. It's everywhere. Schools, grocery stores, anywhere you go. There, it doesn't matter where you are. There could be a shooting. At what point do we say, no fucking more of this? Do something about this. Yeah, but I mean, there has been. There has been. a problem since 65, but we could do something about it. We could put regulations in place, you know. We could look at other countries that don't have these problems and say, I wonder, could we do some of that? Because this is just going to be blamed on. This is just one of those things. Oh my God, it's, racism is what I'm saying. And this is an all over the country thing. If I'm not mistaken, it's almost every day. Somewhere in the country, this is going to be happening. And these typically, some of these parades, some of these first line, second lines, parades in general in New Orleans, they're family events. People will bring their children. Like, wow. All right, so I was looking on Facebook, and so far I haven't really seen anyone talking about it yet. My two friends have not messaged me, so I don't know if they're all right or not. I'm looking over there right now just to see. Is there a search thing on here? Oh yeah, okay. Hold on one sec. Yep, that's the exact Save-A-Lot where that weirdo followed me out. Yep, that's the bridge. Shit. I do believe that's the very bridge where all the car accidents would happen right before it. I'm just trying to see if any of my friends have reposted or anything. Wow. Okay, so there's actual video of the aftermath of it. I'm not going to show this because I don't know what's on it. I don't know what it will show, if that makes sense. Okay, that was a big bag of vehicles. I don't want to say my friends' names, but I'm not seeing them on here. All right. I mean, I'm just saying. There's no real thought process that goes along with people. Listen. If Humpty Dumpty just decides to do these tariffs and all that mess, and if we are tossed into a second Great Depression, here's what is going to happen. Crime stats are going to shoot through the roof. Because when people can't find a decent job, can't make a living wage, and they no longer have any labor rights whatsoever, including overtime pay and fair wages, they can, and will resort to crime to feed their children. That's just what happens. This is the reality. Crime shoots up. DV, unalivings, breaking and entering, armed robbery, all of it. So get prepared. And the way things are now, how do you think things are going to be if we have another Great Depression? And they'll say recession. They're just repackaging something that we already know what it is in like a pretty little bow to make it sound better than what it actually is. This is Law Enforcement 101. In the first course, I think it was a 90-hour course, they talked about how the economy and people's ability to find a decent job directly correlates to crime stats. And then you'll have people who are good people. They just want to be able to feed their children. That's it. They will be felonized. All because certain people cannot find their way out of a wet paper sack and have to grind down people who are already ground down. There's no logic, there's no reason, there's no compassion, empathy, or care or consideration for people who are not millionaires or billionaires. Exactly. But we can combat this. So this comment is saying, when people are desperate, they will resort to desperate measures, and those in power know this, and they want people to be incarcerated or otherwise made felons to remove their suffrage, and also free labor from prison. Prison labor is rising in this country, and they want more of that shit. And then also you have private prisons. Private prisons shouldn't even be a thing, because when I say they cut corners, baby, they will cut corners on anything and everything they possibly can, from food to medical to living conditions, anything, everything, you name it. They don't care about the whole do not treat people with cruel and unusual punishment. That doesn't even register, because they're only thinking about that almighty dollar and their stock and who they have to give money to. That's it. They don't care about the human beings in their custody. Here's the thing. Me, as a certified correctional officer, probably would not be hired by a private prison, because they would have to pay me more. Because a lot of the time they will hire people who don't know what the F they're doing. No training, no real training. Let me put it that way. They don't care about regulations or any of that. And right now, you have private prisons who are getting ready. They are excited and happy to have more people felonized, immigrants being deported. They will probably be housed in private prisons. They're going to pack people in like sardines for sleeping situations, which is going to lead to the spread of diseases, colds, any kind of illness. It's going to lead to riots and fights. Shit's going to get real. If you want to have a riot in a prison, pack people in like sardines. You're going to have a riot. Because human beings are not built to live that way. And they're not going to be treated like human beings. But they're going to hold them like that until they can build more facilities. And they want to build as many facilities as possible because they want to make that money, Lebowski. It's all about the fucking money. With the GOP, it's all about the money. Yeah. Yeah. They're not overcrowded with people who harm children and women and elderly people and all this and that. No, it's not. They're not overcrowded with that. They're overcrowded with people in on BS charges. Straight up BS charges. You could have a parking ticket you didn't know you had because somebody ripped the ticket off your windshield and end up in prison because you didn't even know you had a ticket. And you can't afford to pay for it. And rather than work with you and create a payment plan, because most people have jobs where they're not paid a fair wage and they can barely afford to buy groceries, let alone pay a ridiculous traffic ticket, they end up in prison. Meanwhile, Brock Turner, where the fuck is that piece of garbage? Excuse me, what? Davi Vanity, why is he not in prison? This country does not give a fuck about women, little girls, teenage girls, little boys, elderly people, men. Men can be AR'd. Absolutely. Good luck getting that artist to prison and seeing any kind of justice. No one is exempt. Men can be victimized too. And a majority of the people committing these crimes are men. Yeah. I cannot say what I hope happens to him. Let's just say I'm gonna make some merch that says Aqua Tofana. Listen, look. When you do not give a population justice for certain crimes, you can only push them to a certain point before they start resorting to vigilantism. This is historical fact. This also was in, like, I think the 90-hour course, the very first course when I went into law enforcement. Do you want vigilantism? Don't punish criminals. Don't put criminals away in prison. And certain kinds of offenders can never, ever be rehabilitated. People who harm children, certain kinds of artists, you cannot rehabilitate them. Serial offenders cannot be rehabilitated. They will repeat offend. I mean, I would have absolutely no problem having them being that free prison labor, because there are more than enough of them in this country to fill those roles. But if somebody's just doing a little of that, I don't care. When I worked in the SD, we didn't even arrest people for that. We'd dump it out, and they would, the rank would dump it out and scuff it out under their boot and just be like, "Don't let us see you again. Go on. Please go. We have more important things to do with serial offenders." At least I can say that my rank understood the assignment. All right. I wasn't expecting to live stream today. I will keep an eye on this. I'm going to try to find out, if my friends are okay. But this is a neighborhood. The bullets could have gone into somebody's house. Very easily. Or in a business where somebody's working. Just working, minding their business, doing their thing in their house, sitting on their couch, eating ice cream. Or playing in their bedroom because they're a child. The walls of the buildings in New Orleans are notoriously thin. So whoever did this, I hope you get your whole ass whooped. And I do not feel bad saying that. I hope people find out who you are and whoop that ass. Oh, and speaking from experience, a man gets raped. If it's by another man, the victim is called gay. If he's AR'd by a woman, he's told to... It's just... things have to change in this country. There's no reason that there's no reason anyone should be treated this way. Not a man, not anyone. Absolutely not. Just because you're a man, you could be ace. You could have no interest in sex whatsoever. You could be married and just you're into your partner. That's it. You could be not interested in that person, whatever. Just not in the mood. Men are not like automatons. Like, what the fuck, dude? Hey, James, how you doing? That's ridiculous. Absolutely not. Granted, I didn't have very many male victims or clients that I worked for, I think I had 4 male clients who were AR'd. You know, just the assumption that, oh, if you're a man and you're AR'd by a man, you must be gay. Say that about the perpetrator, not the victim. We just love to victim blame in this country, and I think that's something people should be canceled over. Oh, what? It'll be tantric when I rack his nuts up into his fucking tonsils. What? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Or if it was a woman, shit. Rip that uterus out. The hell? People are sick. And because we let these freaks run around free, just go ahead, do whatever you want, people think it's fine. I don't care what gender a person is. She, he, they, them. I don't care. You are someone, bury that person under the prison. Just absolutely not. Well, that's, people can change things around, but that's not a serial offender the way I'm talking about. That's not someone who goes after children or, a serial like artist or unaliver. There are certain kinds of crimes you can't be rehabilitated from. But what you're talking about here, Papa Mike, is that's somebody who pulled themselves together. And in New Orleans, when my sheriff was in, we had all kinds of diversionary programs to catch those people and help them down a different path. And it worked. It was working. But see, the law enforcement, like the sheriff's department, was being proactive about helping at-risk youth and at-risk people. My judge, we had a guy who came in because he stole a pack of diapers. He was working 2 jobs. His significant other had just given birth, and she had been working 2 or 3 jobs, but she was on maternity leave, right? And my judge was like, this guy doesn't need a prison sentence. He needs resources. They need help. And he tossed the case out, and the store that he stole from, when they realized, they were like, oh, no. We're not pressing charges. Like it became a community thing. People who are in a bad place just need community to help them up. That's it. They don't need to be criminalized. They are and they are not. It depends. If you harm a child, have fun in prison. That's all I can say. I saw some shit in OPP of people who harm children. They don't play. At least I know for a fact in OPP, you got that on your papers? Oh, you're going to have a hard time. Man. Personally, y'all should know me well enough by now to know I'm a very sympathetic person, except for when it comes to that. You do that, I got no sympathy. Exactly. And that's going to be coming around, more than likely. That's going to be a thing. I can tell you, I didn't see shit. What? Who said what? My eyes are bad. I didn't have my glasses on. Listen, I didn't. What? My contacts were being weird. What do I know? I'm just an old 50-year-old granny. What? I saw nothing. And that's how we might have to be, because someday it might be you. If you have children, Listen, when it comes to children, mm, mm. I know there was a little corner store in New Orleans where if you came in with a kid, they were like, you can grab, a piece of fruit, and they had like, it wasn't a gondola, it was like one of those open table things, and they would have all kinds of stuff on there for kiddos. You're right. Exactly. And we're all going to have to do that. And we're going to have to really look out for people of color because historically speaking, they're the first one to really feel the hurt. That's kind of sort of what happens, kind of, in a way. It's, wow. I can never unsee some of the things I saw. But I didn't see shit. So there was one guy in particular in OPP who despised anyone who hurt a child. It didn't matter who you were or what you did. He reminded me of, he was a white guy, but he reminded me of Mike Tyson in a way. Yeah. I can't say too much on what happens in prisons with that sort of thing. It's not good. I can tell you that. All right. So, let me, hold on one sec. Okay, so far I don't see any new updates. 10 injured, 2 unalived. Wait, what? Okay, I see 2 different things here. 11 injured, 2 unalived. Sometimes it can take a minute for like all the dust to settle and people to figure out what really went down. Oh, and apparently 2 days ago there was a fatality. Wow. I don't know what's going on in New Orleans right now. New Orleans goes through cycles like most cities. Most cities go through cycles where crime goes up and down, and it's just, this is America. Yes, very much so. I'm just going to keep this up here for now. And also, I'm going to star that. Yeah, so prayers to New Orleans, to all the families, friends. Things like this don't just affect that initial person who was harmed. And then there's a thing called secondary trauma. So the people who were in the parade and saw this go down, the people who helped, the people who were harmed, the families, friends, all of them. And then you got 2 people who were unalived. So their families, friends, everyone. Like it's a community-wide thing. These kinds of crimes affect the whole community. So to the city of New Orleans, everyone, I love y'all. And I miss y'all. Yeah, right. Hey, politicians, maybe pass measures so that people don't have to be struggling. The lowest of society is able to thrive. It would be beneficial for everyone. Yes, it would. It would be very much beneficial for everyone. But they don't care. Especially this new administration coming in. They don't give a rat's ass. James says it affects everyone. It affects anyone and everyone, strangers across North America. Yep. Or is that too socialist for y'all? No, it's too compassionate. It's too empathetic. Apathy with an A is killing this country. Empathy with an E would heal this country. Just putting that out there. Oh God. Don't even get me started. I can't even read that out loud because I'll just start screaming. Oh God. This is America, y'all. This is America. Where, children aren't even safe in schools. Where's that great happening? Where? I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. All right, y'all. I'm going to jump off here. Thank y'all for stopping by. Please do all the things. I have a feeling it's going to get way more interesting in here because I'm pissed. So it's the kind of angry where you smile and you're just like, yeah, keep it up. Keep it the fuck up. See what happens. I'm just, listen. The lifeboat this afternoon stream was about missing children sold worldwide and how the world needs to wake up to this. Oh shit. Dude. If y'all only knew that, okay, you ready to go down some rabbit holes? Because we can go down some rabbit holes. There's shit you don't even see in the news that is documented. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's fully documented. And guess who many of the people involved in it were? Politicians and their buddies. If I'm smiling, because if you don't, you'll see the beast. Right? Was so deep. The host almost cried several times. If you can, after I'm done with this live stream, put the link in my comments and I'll go watch it if you don't mind. I think I'm following the lifeboat, if I'm not mistaken. People in, yes, and more. There's more. And CPS is helping yeah. This is America. If you're from another country, maybe come to visit, but be very careful. Don't bring your kids at this point. I would recommend don't visit right now. Literally, people are moving to other countries to get away from the psycho that we might be looking at for the next 4 years or more because someone wants to be a dictator. And how is it that a 34 count convicted felon can become the president of the United States of America when I have friends who have a minor misdemeanor? It's not even a felony and they can't find a job because that disqualifies them. So they have to work in kitchens and restaurants and shit. Some of them have serious degrees and they can't find a job in their field because, oh my God, are you? Yeah. Yep. CPS is willing to leave children in dangerous situations if the parents show remorse or otherwise pass the courses. Yeah. It's almost like they want it. I don't know. It's almost like they want the population of this country to be heavily traumatized in childhood. So by the time they are adults, they are turning to substance abuse to deal with the trauma because therapy is too fucking expensive to access. Why else is all this mess going on? I didn't know that was even a thing, James. but nothing would surprise me at this point. Absolutely nothing. Aliens? Dude, look around. At this point, who gives a fuck about aliens? I mean, Jesus. Just aliens. Please, by all means, come choose one group of people, either the psychos or the decent people. Pick one and take them. Okay? Like, pick one. Who gives a fuck if there are aliens in the oceans? They're safe. We're not. Jesus Christ. Fucking beam me up, Scotty. Jesus. Listen, dude, at some point, sanity must prevail. At some fucking point. All right, y'all, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to go message my friends and see if they're all right or their families. Technically, octopi are aliens. Dude, I trust octopuses, or whatever you say. I trust them more than most of the politicians. When I was 3, Tim McVeigh, oh God, that douche canoe. In 2001, on a family road trip, we went to the memorial. Wow. That, I don't even have words for that mess, because I think there were more people involved in that than just him and his friend. I think there were way more people involved. Adoption bonus from the feds. Just think about that for a second, y'all. Adoption bonus. That's selling children. I'd pick a cone snail over Cheeto. Same. Would do a better job and be more useful. And the whole world wouldn't be laughing. Just saying. Politicians keep blaming each other rather than talking about a solution to stop it. Because, yeah. Yes, you are correct. Mostly from low-income parents conflating poverty with abuse and neglect. Yeah. And that astonishes me, because they'll pay foster parents to take care of kids. Meanwhile, the parents who are in poverty and could use that money to take care of their kids, does it take a rocket scientist to figure this shit out? Yeah. Yep. All right. Hold on. I'm going to go find that other comment. I have to go back a little bit, though. Here we go. And I'm going to jump off and try to contact my friends. And to the city of New Orleans, love you. Love y'all. And condolences to the family, the friends, the co-workers. It affects so many people. So condolences to everyone. All right, y'all. Sarcasm, but we can't just give things to people. If everyone could get a handout, what incentive would they have to work? That's part of the problem, though. People are working hard and still barely able to keep a roof over their heads. Now, if companies paid their fair share of taxes and actual livable wages, oh my God, here I go. Just what? Then that wouldn't be so much of a problem, but that's not what's happening. The government is letting companies do whatever they want. And now companies aren't even going to really be paying taxes at all. We are. So that for millionaires and billionaires, yes. for the average person who is just trying to live, you know, and it's hard out there, man. I have friends who have like 4 or 5 roommates in one place, and they're working 2 or 3 jobs, and there is, you know. Okay, can I find it again? I want to leave this up to the very end, and I think I lost it. Shit. It was up higher. Sorry, y'all. I was not gonna live stream today. Today was gonna be a day off, but people are working so much they can barely spend an hour a day with their kids. Yeah, exactly. And if the Department of Education is shut down and schools are shut down, what then? Make it so for each employee who needs to be on some kind of government assistance, a company is charged a fee of, yeah, exactly. That right there. That right there. Yes, indeed. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna jump off and send out some messages. I know I had one friend who was supposed to be at some kind of event because we were just talking earlier today. So, all right, y'all. I will see you tomorrow. I will try to update with what happened here. Yeah. Love y'all, and remember, you have the right to say no. Be careful if you're out and about in the world. Well, in the U.S., really. Yeah. I'm gonna go eat something. I don't even have time to sit and do like food talk right now. I'm just gonna go eat something. I don't even know what, but something. All right, love y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.